to the 7-day chakra challenge. I followed the chakra sequences from this book as diligently as possible. The meditations were inspired by some online research, meaning pose, mantra, and mudra. Today we're focusing on the second chakra, svadhisthana, or the sacral chakra, so let's get watery. So we started out in Sukhasana for 2 minutes. I've sped everything up here for you guys, not to get too bored. It did take about an hour to do this entire sequence. We went straight into cat-cow 10 times. You'll notice that this sacral chakra sequence is much more fluid than the root chakra sequence. We're flowing from pose to pose. There's less awkward stops and less awkward transitions than there were previously. I won't bore you to watch all of the repetitions of everything that we're doing today, but I will lead you through all of the different poses. So from downward dog, we went into Tadasana, and straight into 3 cycles of a classical Surya Namaskar. So stepping the right foot back into a lunge, stepping back into a plank, going through the... Actually, I don't know what this is called. Good question, but the instructions did say to do this twisting motion while in the Shalabhasana stage. And then downward dog into a low lunge again, and then stepping forward into Tadasana. So I did that 2 more times. And then there was the option to either rest in child's pose or rest in downward dog. Now we're going into a dancing warrior sequence, which I really, really love. And we're going to be here 5 times. While we're here, let me tell you something that I just really loved from this book. It's a quote directly from the Svadhisthana chakra section. Fluid sequences such as Surya Namaskars or sun salutations stimulate circulation and a sense of creative expression, opening us to enjoy the simple flow and flavor of creative energy as the movement of delight. How cool! After 5 rounds, I went into child's pose for a rest and then got up for some standing poses. And these weren't so flowy anymore, but they were good. They were fun. So from triangle pose, I went into a half moon pose, both sides of course, and then we'll go into Prasarita Padottanasana A. And this was supposed to transition into a tripod headstand, which I don't know how to do, and I don't have anyone to spot me, so I'm terrified. So I did a regular headstand instead, but I think I got the general point across. I then attempted crane pose, and gave up, and then attempted crow pose, and accidentally skipped a different arm balance that I didn't know I was supposed to do. Eagle pose for 10 breaths on each side, and then pyramid pose, 5 breaths into a revolved triangle, into a revolved half moon, back into Tadasana. And then from there we went into Surya Namaskar B just once, and into this really fun standing sequence that I really enjoyed. Actually, you'll see here in a moment. So from down dog, I'm going into a high lunge, into warrior 3, and into Pavrita Hasta Padangusthasana pose, which is this twisting one-legged balance thing. Back into warrior 3, and from here I was supposed to go into a handstand, which I can't do without a wall, so I didn't. I did do some kick-ups on both sides in preparation for a handstand, but as I said, not comfortable, no spotter, not gonna happen. Don't want to break anything, or myself, or my dog. Okay, so we went to the other side, and then after that, we went back into crescent lunge, into a revolved high lunge, and then this really fun twisting arm balance called Eka Pada Kundinyasana B. I kind of wonder, why is it the strangest poses that are the most fun to do? So we went into puppy pose. I consider this the beginning of the cool down. And then into Supta Virasana, which I started with a block under my hips, but then it was uncomfortable for my back and I don't have a bolster. I could have used some other props, but just decided to get rid of the block. It's here for 2 minutes. A really big difference I noticed from the root sequence to the Sacral sequence is how long I'm holding each pose. So in this one, I'm holding each pose between 5 to 10 breaths, generally. Whereas in the root sequence, I was holding each pose for approximately 2 minutes, which is a really big difference. And then went into Ustrasana, or camel pose, into a supported bridge, or a half bridge pose, into a full wheel. Straight into Supta Baddha Konasana for 10 breaths, Apanasana for 5 breaths. Here's the one I had trouble pronouncing last time, Supta Parivartanasana, which is this twist right here. And then this very intense twist called Svadhisthana for 15 breaths on each side. This one is very deep for me. And then into Ardha Matsyendrasana with the bind, Dandasana for 5 breaths, Paschimottanasana for 3 to 5 minutes. I can't remember how long I did it for. Then Halasana, or plow pose, into shoulder stand, and then this crazy thing that I've never done before, but it was pretty fun. I actually kind of like it. And then also this crazy thing of putting my knees next to my head, into Karnapidasana, which I love, I think is so calming. And then Matsyasana, which I've also not ever done before, I don't think. All of these lotus combination poses I've kind of avoided throughout my whole yoga experience. And finally, Uttana Padasana before Shavasana. What I loved about the meditation today was that it was in my favorite pose, Sukhasana. I'm sitting on my meditation cushion and I have my hands in the cosmic mudra, which I absolutely love. This is my favorite meditation posture and mudra, and I just love it. I was so happy to be here. And I am chanting the mantra VAM, which is associated with the svadhisthana chakra. So I'm not sure if you heard that, but I'm going to let you listen one more time. While I am chanting, you can actually hear my heartbeat within the mantra, and it was so cool. I was not doing this on purpose. Let's talk about what just happened. Okay, I just completed the sacral chakra sequence. It's the second chakra. It's associated with the color orange, hence the outfit. I was really hoping that after the root chakra sequence, it would be a little bit less intense. After the root chakra sequence, I was sore, especially my legs. mostly my thighs and my obliques, which was very surprising, and also my in between my shoulder blades, like the trapezius, rhomboid muscles, whatever is back there, I forgot. In between the shoulder blades from, holding the arms out so long. Well, the sacral chakra was not easy at all, but the time definitely went by much faster. The sacral chakra is associated with the element of water, and so there's a lot more flow. The sequence was based on a lot more movement and a lot more smooth transitions from pose to pose than the first one was. The first sequence in the root chakra was much more Iyengar style, much more do this, stay there, now switch. This one was a little bit more smooth. I had 3 crystals with me. On the mat I have sunstone, I have amber, and I have carnelian. So these are all orange shade stones, orange colored stones that are associated with the sacral chakra. When I did the root sequence, I felt grounded and stable, and I got so much done that day. Like, I was super productive. I just felt like a little train that kept going no matter what, and I was so tired by the end of the day, but I got so much done. It was a really good start to my day. I didn't do the sacral chakra sequence at the beginning of the day. I did it in the evening instead. So I'll see how I feel after this, but I still feel like I might get some stuff done, but more creative stuff. I liked it. This one is much more like a traditional yoga class, so that's interesting. And the meditation, it was the sound Vam, or the mantra was Vam, and you do the cosmic mudra, which is my favorite mudra to use in meditation, which is the left hand on top of the right hand, and you touch the tips of the thumbs together, and then you rest your palms in your lap. That's my favorite mudra to hold, so it's interesting that it's associated with the sacral chakra. Not sure what that means, but that's okay. I hope you enjoyed my little experience with the sacral chakra sequence, and I'll see you for the next one. I need to think of how to describe these things.